The small man smirks at the sleek automobile, then mounts his motorcycle, releases the brake, and ignites the engine. Isaac mounts next, with the second soldier behind him. "Hold on tight," the soldier says. Isaac's arms girdle the small man, and the third man rests his hands on Isaac's waist. Sandwiched between the two, he feels the bony back of one against his stomach, and the belly of the other pushing into his back. The bitter smell of unwashed hair makes him gag. Turning his head to take a breath, he glimpses one of his employees, Morteza, frozen on the sidewalk like a bystander at a funeral procession. The motorcycle swerves through the narrow spaces between jammed cars. He watches the city glide by, its transformation now so obvious to him. Movie posters and shampoo advertisements have been replaced by sweeping murals of clerics. Streets once named after kings now claim the Revolution as their patron, and once dapper men and women have become bearded shadows and black veils. The smell of kebab and charcoaled corn rising from the street vendors' grills fills the lunch hour. He'd often treated himself to a hot skewer of lamb kebab here, sometimes bringing back 24 for his employees, who'd congregate in the kitchen, slide the tender meat off the skewers with slices of bread, and chew loudly. Isaac joined them from time to time, and while he couldn't allow himself to eat with equal abandon, he would be pleased for having initiated the gathering. The vendor, fanning his grilled meat, looks at Isaac on the motorcycle, stupefied. Isaac looks back, but his captors pick up speed, and he feels dizzy all of a sudden, ready to topple over. He locks his fingers around the driver's girth. They stop at an unassuming gray building, dismount the bike, and enter. Greetings are exchanged among the revolutionaries, and Isaac is led to a room smelling of sweat and feet. The room is small, maybe 1/5 the size of his living room, with mustard-yellow walls. He's seated on a bench already filled with about 12 men. He's squeezed between a middle-aged man and a young boy of 16 or 17. "I don't know how they keep adding more people on this bench," the man next to him mumbles, as though to himself, but loudly enough for Isaac to hear. Isaac notices the man is wearing pajama pants with socks and shoes. "How long have you been here?" he asks, deciding that the man's hostility has little to do with him. "I'm not sure," says the man. "They came to my house in the middle of the night. My wife was hysterical. She insisted on making me a cheese sandwich before I left. I don't know what got into her. She cut the cheese, her hands shaking. She even put in some parsley and radishes. As she was about to hand me the sandwich, one of the soldiers grabbed it from her, ate it in 3 or 4 bites, and said, 'Thanks, sister. How did you know I was starving?'" Hearing this story makes Isaac feel fortunate. His family, at least, had been spared a similar scene. "This bench is killing my back," the man continues, "and they won't even let me use the bathroom." Isaac rests his head against the wall. How odd that he should get arrested today of all days, when he was going to make up his long absences to his wife and daughter by joining them for lunch. For months he'd been leaving the house at dawn, when the snow-covered Albur's mountains slowly unveiled themselves in the red-orange light, and the city shook itself out of sleep, lights in bedrooms and kitchens coming on one after the other, languidly at first, then gaining momentum. And he'd been returning from the office long after the supper dishes had been washed and stored away, and Shirin had gone to bed. At night, walking up the stairs of his 2-story villa, he could already hear the television buzzing, and in the living room he would find Farnaz, in her silk nightgown, cognac in hand, soaking up the chaos of the evening news. "The cognac," she said, "its stinging vapors, its roundness and warmth."